Look, you're never going to hear me guarantee that somebody will be a bust because at the end of the day, motivation is a huge determinant on who really makes it in the NBA, who blossoms into a superstar. And to be honest, what they've done so far as 19, 20-year-olds, whatever it is, pales in comparison to the amount of work they're going to have to put in the coming weeks, months, years, and everything they do from here on out means a lot more than what they've done so far in college. So when I say a guy's probably a bust, let me preface this by saying that I'm rooting for him. He may very well see this video or other people talking crap about him, and I hope it inspires him to prove me completely wrong and end up being an NBA superstar. But that said, I personally think the odds are against this kid. And I'm going to show you why in this video. I think Onyeka Okongwu, the freshman out of USC, is most likely a bust at the next level. Sure, if you think he's Rudy Gobert, take him top 5. That's a dominant defensive player of the year type player. Personally, I think James Wiseman can be that. He's a legit 7-1 with unbelievable shot blocking instincts and ability to contain pick and roll. Versus Okongwu, who's 6'9", maybe 6'10". You hear Bam Adebayo thrown out a lot. Bam without passing and dribbling isn't Bam. And again, Bam was end of the lottery, so maybe the problem is just that I don't think this kid warrants a top 3, top 5 pick like people are talking about. Maybe if the expectations were a little bit lower, draft was a little bit better, he'd be a lower pick, and then there wouldn't be quite as much pressure, because he certainly does some things well. But to me, he's like Robert Williams, Nerlens Noel, Hassan Whiteside type. Pretty good, maybe. But top 5, top 3, I'm not buying it. Let's dive into the film. Alright, he can make a free throw. Let's do a little sandwich approach type deal. Around 72% from the free throw line. Not terrible there. Otherwise, though, his shot is very reluctant. Alright, he tends to only shoot the ball end of the shot clock. And yes, he has decent touch, decent form on the few shots that he basically had to take. But again, he's still very reluctant to actually take them. And how many bigs in the NBA do you know who are allowed to take spot-up long twos? Few, if any. That is not a shot NBA coaches are going to have him take. The only one they'd have him taking is this 3. But as you see here, he doesn't even really look at the basket. He has no interest in taking that shot and no faith in his ability to take that shot. Instead, he ends up picking a charge like he does often when he actually has to put the ball on the floor. Again, he's good for maybe one dribble max when he does have to put it down. And when he does that, if he can't get all the way to the rim for a dunk, he's not a particularly good finisher with those touch finishes. Again, when he has to put the ball down, it's usually for a maximum of about a dribble. And even though he thinks he has some of these Euro steps and different type footwork, he's a little bit loose with the ball, ends up getting stripped a decent amount there underneath. Again, we talked about the charges. I don't think he really has that kind of quick twitch sense to avoid defenders quickly coming over. Doesn't seem to really see the game as it happens or even before it happens, which is really something necessary to be an elite big. This was a good pass. I'll give him credit for this. Okay, big-to-big passer. And this was a good, again, one dribble, and yes, he does explode here, and he's pretty long. He can certainly dunk the ball. He'll have a few highlight-type plays for sure. Post-game, he's got a few rudimentary jump hook-type post moves, predominantly over that left shoulder. Likes that crab dribble. Again, but occasionally it's like he's tossing stuff up there. Not a huge option for them at all for a guy that, again, if you're drafting top 3, you're expecting to be a franchise-type player to me. He's got a spin move. He's got a couple things. Usually has to put the ball back in his right hand to finish. As you see the spin again, ball's on the right hand to finish. He's got occasional decent ambidexterity with the left hand. But does he really want the ball? I mean, look at this. This is unfathomable to me. You're a top 3 pick. Like, you've got the edge on your man right here. Seal him and you've got a layup. That's just an easy read. He doesn't want the ball all that badly. I don't think he really has an offensive mindset. I mean, again, I love defense. Great to have a defensive mindset. But if you're going to be a top 3, top 5 pick, you better also be able to have some ability to be dominant in a couple ways offensively. This is on him. This is not sealing your man off, really wanting the ball enough in the post. That turnover is his fault, quite frankly. Again, same type deal. Are you rolling really hard like you really want the ball, or are you just doing it kind of running the play? When you have a small little guard on you, are you really going to seal him deep and go score on him quickly, or are you playing hot potato with it, trying to just get rid of the ball? Same deal again. Are you going to roll really hard to the front of the rim, seal this man deep under the basket, or are you going to just not even do anything and let him easily get around you, knock it out of bounds? Sandwich approach again. All right, he'll get some offensive rebounds. He's got decent energy. Again, like a guy like Noel, like Whiteside, he'll have some of these plays. He's fine. He's perfectly acceptable. He'll get some tip-ins. He'll get some tip dunks. But does that not Hassan Whiteside to you? Does that not have a little bit of softness to it? How many guys in the NBA do you know that are 6'9" that really terrorize the offensive glass? He's not a terror there to me. He does high point the ball a decent amount. He does grab some contested rebounds in traffic. Does have decent fight there. And yes, he'll roll hard occasionally and get a few dunks out of it. If you give him a decent lob pass, he'll finish that at the rim. But screening, in general, I mean, this play is supposed to be him setting a flex screen for this guy in the corner. That's not a screen. And then he's supposed to set a stagger screen for him to come up right here. Whiff. Not a good screen setter. And then he's just kind of going to stand down here. A whole lot of possessions for USC. Look at that screen. Screen him. Whiff. Air ball. Defensively, again, decent hands. Get you some steals. Also get sealed pretty early sometimes and jump for every single shot fake. Did I mention he'll jump for every single shot fake? In the NBA, that's a foul. Alright, you came over to stop the ball, but how about your second effort defensively? You can't sprint out there to contest that shot? Look how slow that is. That's fake hustle. Okay, yes, we can't see for certain. We don't have sound on this, so maybe he's talking a little bit. But you don't have to be Kevin Garnett, but does this look like a guy who's really a defensive captain back there, is telling guys, by yourself, where to be, where your help is? That doesn't look like he's saying much of anything. Looks like he's basically just taking a little break. You see a lot of this standing up straight, just kind of walking around, late to come over and help. How about this? This is less than 3 minutes into the game. Watch him running back in transition. You're going to compare this guy to Bam? Bam's nonstop energy. That's not nonstop energy. That's a guy that's frequently gassed, out of breath, early in games, on the wrong side of the offensive rebounder, getting beat up on occasion on the defensive glass. That's a nice steal. That's a nice hustle play. And you know what? He can certainly block a few shots, especially at the college level of slower bigs who are pretty predictable, trying to take a long time to go into their post move. He'll be an acceptable rim protector at times, but again, how many rim protectors do you know who are, 6'9", 6'10", at the 4 position? And if you're at the 4 position in today's NBA and you can't shoot, pass, or dribble, that's a big problem. You can get out in an occasional hedge. That's decent. Getting back to his man. And again, finishing it with a high rebound. That's all right. But how about this one? Look at this pick and roll defense. Sheesh. Look at this pick and roll defense. I don't even know what that is. I've never seen that before. And again, gives up the offensive rebound. Did I mention he goes for pretty much everything, trying to block it? The NBA, this guy's coming downhill to you. He wants you to jump for this, because then that opens up exactly that, the dump off to the big. You can't jump for everything. He tries to jump for every single block right now. Again, just overall, look at his demeanor on the court. He talks about defense is super important to him. He's a defensive mindset. To me, he plays like a guy who's not in a stance a bunch of the time, just kind of walking around out there. You play basketball in a stance, you look a lot more athletic than he does out there. Speaking of athletic, I mean, just look at his movement here. Comes in a tag on the pick and roll. Okay, how slow are you getting back out here? And then this man goes and sets another pick and roll. Do you communicate? Do you switch? And then look, his guy ends up bouncing him back out there for a little side running contest. He looks awkward. He runs awkward. I don't see that kind of tremendous motor on a rare time when he had to switch onto a guard. I mean, look at him just get totally blown by on the easy crossover in the NBA. That's continuation. Look at him have to try to do a closeout here, totally give up middle, which you're not trying to do, and just get awful footwork. There's a few things to like, but in my opinion, Onyeka Okongwu has a long way to go. DJ Wilson, TJ Leaf, Dragon Bender, Marquise Chris, Jakob Poeltl, Thon Maker, Papa Giannis, Yabusele, Jahlil Okafor, Willie Cauley-Stein, Frank Kaminsky, Trey Lyles, Noah Vonleh, Adrian Payne, Alex Len, Nerlens Noel. Point is, mediocre bigs, a dime a dozen. So many meh bigs in the league, and you can find them through the first round, second round, etc. And in fact, a lot of the legit bigs, Capella, Gobert, Harrell, were lower picks. To me, Okongwu's not worth a top 3, top 5, or probably even top 10 pick. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, hit the thumb up, leave me a comment, and a lot more tomorrow.